So after the Dolphins loss against the New York Jets in their season finale, Tyreek Hill made some really big headlines in his post-game interview. He essentially said he's done with the Miami Dolphins and that he is gone and he wants to be traded and he's just done with the franchise and he has to do what's best for his career. The quote went like this is the first time I haven't been in the playoffs, so for me, I have to do what's best for me and my family, if that's here or wherever the case may be. I'm about to open up that door for myself. I'm opening the door. I'm out. It was great playing here, but at the end of the day, I have to do what's best for my career because I'm too much of a competitor to be just out there. And that's the thing too, man. He kind of quit near the end of the game. Mike McDaniel had a quote saying he was informed that Tyreek was no longer available and there was other guys out there competing. So Tyreek quit on the team. I can't really say I blame him. You know, the Broncos were up by 20, 30 points. So what's the point in really playing, especially if you're Tyreek Hill and Tyler Huntley's your quarterback? What's the point? If there was like a record to break or if he had a chance to get to 1,000 yards, okay, sure, absolutely. Stay out there. But I can't really blame Tyreek for not, you know, going in the game when it's completely meaningless. And I really just think this is the beginning of the end for the Dolphins. Really, the beginning of the end for the Dolphins was probably Tua, having all those concussions. But really, this is definitively it. Because, Tyreek Hill is a big piece of that Dolphins organization, and obviously he is that offense. So you take him away, sure, you have Tua, you have Jalen Waddle, you still have a pretty good run game. You have Jonnu Smith, came out of nowhere, which is great for them. But I don't know, man. For the Dolphins going forward, I just feel like they're slowly kind of going towards a rebuild because I just don't know how you can have faith in Tua going forward. And if you're going to tank, you might as well tank. And the Dolphins actually have a history of tanking. Their owner actually got caught for tanking on purpose 3-4 years ago, so it's in their blood, it's in their DNA, and I totally expect to see the same thing in the next couple of years, just because I just don't see a window for this team, man. I just don't think it's their time, and I don't think the roster is good enough, and especially since it's a quarterback league, to really push all your chips on Tua's health and Tua in general. I just don't see it ever working out for this team. And when you lose a Hall of Fame wide receiver and he's done with Tua, he's done with the franchise, come on, man. I don't know. I just feel like this is just waving the white flag on the Tua experience and the playoff window for this team. You guys let me know if you agree with me from that perspective, or do you think, Tyreek is a cancer and the Dolphins will be a successful playoff team a year from now and Tua will be healthy and it'll be all sunshine and rainbows? You let me know, but I really think this is it. Now for Tyreek Hill, it'll be really interesting to see what his market is like. Character-wise, kind of shaky, absolutely. A couple of years ago he was talking about retiring and becoming a corn star. I don't want to get demonetized on YouTube, but that's what he wanted to do. His words, not mine, of course. And I just think this guy is pretty wild off the field. Of course, he has a ton of kids, and you know what, man, do whatever you want, but it's just teams take that into account when they're potentially thinking about acquiring a player. So we just have to think about that going forward. And with that in mind, I'm just curious to see what his market will be like. I'm sure it will be very big. I'm sure a lot of teams will be very interested in him. But at the same time, if you're really trying to build a good team culture, if you're really trying to have a really good locker room, I don't know if that's the guy. Again, I've never met Tyreek Hill. I've never played with him. I'm not in the Dolphins locker room. I wasn't in the Chiefs locker room. I'm sure he's a good teammate, but still, at the same time, like off the field, he's pretty wild. And the fact that like he's in the NFL with the things he's done is even more wild. This dude is not a good guy, but that's just my opinion. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just look it up. He was in the supplement draft for a reason, and even after that situation, he did some pretty unspeakable things after that. So that's just my opinion on Tyreek Hill. But just for fun, let's hypothetically go through the potential teams that would be interested in Tyreek. So if the Dolphins do end up trading him, which I think they probably will, I feel like they're probably tired of his antics to a certain extent, especially Mike McDaniel. I feel like it's probably best for them to kind of part ways at this point. And so it would make sense for the Dolphins to trade him to an NFC team, of course. It wouldn't really be wise for the Dolphins to trade him to an AFC team. But then again, I don't think the Dolphins are going to be in playoff contention, so I guess it doesn't really matter. It's not really going to bite them too much. So I definitely expect the Commanders to definitely be linked to Tyreek Hill just because they've been in the wide receiver market for a while. And to pair another wide receiver with Scary Terry would be really, really good. I mean, hypothetically, to have Tyreek Hill, Jaden Daniels, and Terry McLaurin, that would be absolutely wild, man. That would be really, really exciting. I'd be super hyped for the Commanders in 2025 if that happens. That's probably my dream scenario for Tyreek Hill, or just like any big name wide receiver in general. If Jaden Daniels can just get another wide receiver to pair with Terry McLaurin, that's just like a dream right there. I also expect maybe the Rams to get involved with the Tyreek sweepstakes just because they're such an aggressive franchise, but then again, they already have Cooper Kupp or Puka Nacua. Honestly, man, I'm looking at the teams right now, and I don't see a lot of great fits. Like, the NFC North, I feel like the Lions are good in their wide receiver department, and they have to pay a lot of other guys as well. It's just... And, like, there's a lot of other teams that have a lot of good wide receivers, and it's just, like, not really worth it. Like, the Eagles, the Packers have a lot of good receivers on cheap deals right now. Even the Vikings, like Jefferson and Addison, are good enough in my opinion. And then you have the Seahawks. They're good there as well. So honestly, just looking at it, I don't see a lot. I do see the Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb and Tyreek Hill with Dak Prescott. I feel like that would be a lot of fun. Could be very disastrous, but I feel like that would be a lot of fun. But honestly, man, besides those two teams, I don't see a lot else. Maybe Atlanta, Michael Penix, Drake London, Tyreek Hill. I don't hate that. Tampa Bay's good. You know, we'll see what Chris Godwin's like. Arizona, like, I don't even know if Kyler's going to be on the team a year from now. Niners are in cap hell, or about to be. I don't know, man. I'm sure the market will be great for Tyreek Hill, but at the same time, I just don't really see a lot of teams being interested. But, you know, what the hell do I know, right? So, you let me know if you agree with me. Do you think the Tyreek Hill market is going to be sparse? Or do you think every team in the NFL is going to be interested? It's really close to say. I really don't know. But, you know, crazy guy off the field, large cap hit. Not a lot of wide receiver needy teams, in my opinion. So we'll see how it all plays out. Let me know what you think. If you made this far, please subscribe and like the vid. It'd help out your boy a ton. That's all I got for right now. Peace.
Makes the catch. Ryan's the one who brings him to the ground. Third down. And they sack the quarterback, and that's a quick series, a 3-and-out.
We got to give that defensive front a lot of credit, man. They are pushing, they're getting after it. They know it's probably going to be a pass on third down. and they get back to the quarterback and take him down.
Edelman is tackled down. And a run back of about 5.
The Jets got absolutely nothing out of their previous possession, and here they are back on the field. Another 3 and out, I would have to think, would be very demoralizing to this team right now.
Yeah, it's going to be demoralizing to the offense, but I'll tell you who's going to be more demoralizing.